Welcome back to the Matt Rodriguez Show, episode 3. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about should creatives work for free? And that's a really, really common theme, as an artist or creative that we deal with on a consistent basis, right? It's the age-old question. And the answer to that, in my opinion, is yes and no. Okay, first we have to define work, and then we have to define free. Work, by definition, is an activity involving mental or physical effort done in order to achieve a desired result or purpose. And within this context, that desired result typically is money, right? We all put this effort forth to acquire resources to do other things, right? So there are two definitions for free that I liked. Free, not under the control or in the power of another, able to act or be done as one wishes, without cost or payment. We know what that all means. Now, I have personally created great opportunities, for myself by doing things that would be considered free, or no payment involved. However, I have never done work for free. And that sounds contradictory. It sounds like I'm talking crazy, but let me explain. Our time is extremely precious, right? And we do with it as we please. We can sit home and watch Netflix. We could, go out and make things to further ourselves. Either way, there's no wrong answer. If you want to sit home and binge watch Netflix, I'm not judging you. But I just choose the latter. I choose to consistently create content, whether, it could be like the slightest thing. People always get overwhelmed, like, I don't know if I should make, I don't have time to make this whole piece, this treatment, write a treatment and all this. It could be something so basic as taking a nice photo and getting it up on your website, So normally I work weekends as an event shooter. Typically when you're shooting weddings, it's mostly on the weekend. I do commercial stuff during the week, but weekends are like pretty solid for me, right? So on this particular weekend, I had off, and I also noticed that this high profile performer was coming to town, right? He was coming to my area, and I thought it was a long shot, but I just reached out anyway. And it turns out, he responded back, and boom, I was in there. So, I go to the show, I shoot something for him, I put it out on social media, he puts it out on social media. He has a crazy following, and he gets a lot of good feedback based on that piece of content that we created together. So I figured, hey, I wasn't doing anything anyway, at least I got something nice for the portfolio, and he got some cool content for his page. So that's it. I left that situation with zero expectations, saying, all right, that was cool. I think, I did what I had to do, and I felt like I got something from it. And now, move on to the next thing. So fast forward a few months later, I get a call, and get invited to go shoot overseas for the same person, paid. And that opportunity, in my opinion, would not have materialized had I not put myself out there by doing what was considered free or no monetary payment. And the real distinction here is, if someone approaches you for work, do not do it for free. Like, if someone sees your portfolio, some random person reaches out to you and they're like, hey, I really like your work, or I saw what you did with so-and-so. If they're trying to get you for free or really cheap, do not break, don't do it. What I am saying is, look for ways to use your free time. That's the word free. The word free comes in here. Use your free time in a way where you're creating something for yourself, where you're constantly positioning yourself to, do better, whether it's like creating content to market yourself, or whether it's finding different ways to market yourself, or, reaching out to other creatives or business owners and just trying to network. Those are things you could do on your free time, or things or on time where you're not necessarily shooting or working on your craft per se. So that is the distinction there. So that's my idea of working for free. Basically taking on projects you're passionate about that won't take up too much of your time, but will give you maximum results. So find things where you can put in minimal effort that will give you maximum results. And that's not for everything in life. You always have to put in, sometimes it's a massive effort for massive results. But there are things that you can do that take a little bit of energy, a little bit of time, that will give you way more return on investment, if you would say. So, and trust me, as a dancer for so many years, doing like really cheap or free shows, I didn't understand my value as an artist, and I didn't really know how to monetize. That's something I learned later on, and it's kind of a phase we all have to go through, right? Like, you spend so much energy getting good at something, and then you have to spend energy getting good at the business side. So you get good at your craft, then you get good at the business side, and then you mix those two, and that's where the magic happens. Anyways, thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. Whether you're catching it on YouTube or whether you're catching it, on the podcast forums, Spotify, iTunes, it's always appreciated. I'm no guru in business or filmmaking. I'm just constantly learning and testing different things, and kind of giving out what I've learned in my experiences in hopes of helping someone else that's in a creative field. So thank you so much for checking out my content, and I'll catch you next time.